Anticipation is high for President Trump's first congressional address Tuesday, in which he's expected to outline his agenda, ranging from a hike in defense spending, tax cuts, regulatory rollbacks, to immigration, a replacement for Obamacare, and more. Meanwhile, strong gains in the stock market are making some Americans feel flush enough to splurge, and the luxury car market is one beneficiary. So what does it take to get someone to shell out six figures for a set of wheels? John Stoll, the WSJ Detroit bureau chief, joins us now to discuss. Welcome, John. So the Trump bump has been good for luxury car sales, it seems.
Yeah, so far so good. And this is particularly the high-end stuff. So we're talking Lamborghinis and Bentleys and Rolls-Royces. And, it's been okay for Lexus and others. They've kind of seen a steady automotive market, but just a big, giant leap since early November for many of these luxury Grey Poupon brands, if you will.
Yes, that's right. You mentioned the Bentleys, the Ferraris, the Maseratis, the Porsches, the Rolls-Royces. Tell us, how much have sales of these cars jumped since the November 8th presidential election through January compared with the same period last year?
Well, they've seen a double-digit increase for the collection, about 15%, but or more, I'm sorry, that number's bigger. But some of these brands like Maserati have seen 50% gains, Rolls-Royce 42%. And one of the interesting things about the increases is a lot of times you can attribute this to new products. So Maserati has a new SUV, and everybody loves SUVs. So you'd say, well, of course, Maserati, with a new product, they don't get a lot of new products over time. It's not like Ford adding new products all the time. They will get an increase. But Rolls-Royce hasn't really had that SUV come in the lineup. Ferrari has been, sports cars, they're up 28%. Porsche the same way with an 11% gain. So while some of this may be some new products like a Bentley SUV, much of it is correlates with the stock market gains.
So how close is that correlation between the stock market and luxury car sales? Because you were saying earlier that these gains are not felt across the U.S. auto market.
That's right. I mean, there are different factors in the mass market than the luxury market. Just on the mass market side, huge incentives right now. I mean, we're talking about $4,000 a car in discounts and rebates on an average. That's a lot of money to move the metal, and not typical of obviously super luxury sales. The other thing that's helping mass market is a lot of inventory, just tons of inventory stacking up, so that even helps the deals even more. On the luxury side, it's the wealth effect. It's folks feeling good about the future of the economy, feeling good about the gains, taking some gains in the stock market, splurging a little bit. Obviously, Trump's agenda promises some things, remains yet to be seen whether we'll actually get it. But in terms of tax reform and a pro-business climate, and that obviously helps super luxury sales, where those things kind of play a disproportionate factor in deliveries.
When you look at Rolls-Royce, for instance, which has posted its third...
I do every day. I drive into work every day.
Lucky you. We can all be so lucky. But when you look how it's posted its third consecutive year of record U.S. sales, and mind you, we're talking about a car that easily exceeds a $300,000 price tag. These are people who clearly could have afforded the car before the presidential election, correct? So what happened exactly that sort of caused all of these people in the upper echelon to sort of loosen their purse strings at once?
Okay, I'm going to make a broader guess on the wider market and the wider performance of the last 3 years is that we've seen a steadily improving economy. And we've seen real estate continue to come back from where it was at the crisis. And so wealth compounds, and there possibly could get more people in Rolls-Royce stores. There's also been the new Rolls-Royce Dawn, which is a beautiful, bespoke luxury sedan or coupe. I'm not sure. I don't really have a Rolls-Royce. But new products have helped. Retooling the dealer network sometimes helps as well, and catching up to what some of the other super luxury brands do in terms of white glove services. So for Rolls-Royce, it could be a particular nuance in the way that they've gone to market. But I think on the more broader macro level, rich people feel good about spending their spoils.
There you go. I mean, here on Lunch Break, we just spoke with Alessandro Farmeschi, the COO of Lamborghini America. He confirmed the U.S. is their strongest market. Lamborghini says U.S. sales rose 15% compared with a year ago. So all of that is good. However, I want to ask you about financing, because it does seem that a lot of this bump is occurring through financing. And isn't that a bit problematic when we're talking about luxury cars at this level?
Well, I think if you have to ask the price tag, you shouldn't be in Bentley dealership. And I don't know to what extent yet a leasing sort of incentive is helping. Let's just talk about Bentley for a minute. Lamborghini's very exotic, a very particular buyer for the time being. We'll get to Lamborghini in a second. Bentley has an SUV. And we've seen their incentives rise. They are offering more per vehicle. Now, a $15,000 discount on a $250,000 car isn't exactly, a giveaway. It's not the bargain basement fire sale. But there has been a disproportionate amount of leasing thrown at versus what it used to be, thrown at a higher end buyer. Maserati, Porsche gets you in these vehicles at a subsidized lease rate that maybe you otherwise wouldn't be able to stomach. I'm going to say you can afford it, but that Porsche Cayenne may look more attractive at $600 a month. Seen it at Tesla, $120,000 electric cars going for $700 a month. Folks fit that into their budget, and then at the end of 2 years, they can give it back. Now, Lamborghini's special because Lamborghini has the SUV coming out, and that will really test the elasticity of a brand that has, for the most part, always been associated with very high-end supercars that, really the performance junkies will drive, but we don't see the grocery getter kind of, soccer mom and baseball dads driving them up to Target on the weekend. So that could be an interesting case study to watch in the future, is what happens with Lambo and if they have to offer deals like that in the future, too.
Absolutely. Well, John, thank you so much. We hope you got a chance to at least test drive some of the subjects of your story there.
Well, maybe they'll watch and they'll send me some keys and some options. Only a day at a time, though. We do have an ethical policy.
There you go. Thank you so much.